Professor Dr. S. Gauri is the Director of EMRC of UGC and also Professor in the Department of Manufacturing Engineering, Anna University. He is the recipient of the National Award for Outstanding Academic 2011, honored by the Indian Society of Technical Education, New Delhi in 2012. He has previously been the Registrar of Anna University of Technology, Chennai. He received BE in Mechanical Engineering from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, MTech in Production Engineering and PhD in Precision Machining in IIT Madras. He was awarded for his PG work, project work in IIT Madras. His main areas of interest are technical education system development, precision machining, rapid prototyping, FEA, biomedical engineering, medical image analysis, and shape memory alloys. He is a life member of ISTE, AMM, and SME of USA. He has been awarded with fellowships of research work done in surface engineering by NSF, USA in 1992 and by NSTB Singapore in 1997 to 1999. He is a visiting faculty in India and abroad in many colleges and universities, including Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, Technical University, Weingarten, Stuttgart, Germany, and taught nanotechnology. He has traveled many countries, including Germany, UK, USA, Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, Malaysia, Brunei, and Australia for his academic works. In addition, he got international travel fellowships from UGC, AICTE, CSIR, and DST. He has successfully completed several projects in India and abroad. He has offered technical consultations in India and abroad to MNCs such as Sony of Japan, Pratt & Whitney of USA, GE of Singapore, iGel of Australia, and also to Railways Coach Factory, Chennai. He was a member of the Technical Expert Committee selected by DST to participate in the Indo-UK Manufacturing Engineering Colloquium held in January 2012. He headed the International Joint Project on Virtual Laboratories on Mechatronics, a real-time web-based project with partners from Julius Maximilian University, Würzburg, Germany, and the University of Madrid, Spain in 2005. He is holding an international patent for the work done in micromachining during his tenure in Singapore. He is a member and director of several Tamil Nadu government advisory boards.
In this lecture, let us know about basic feasible solution, northwest corner rule method, maximum possible allocations, and what are rim conditions.
So, we are going to find out the basic feasible solution. Clear? The basic feasible solution is obtained by any one of the three techniques. The one technique is called northwest corner rule, northwest corner method, northwest corner rule. The second one is least cost method, and third one is Vogel's approximation method. Let me write. The first technique is called northwest corner rule, and another is least cost method. Third one is Vogel's approximation method. Please note either this or this, any one of them. Northwest corner rule, least cost method, Vogel's approximation. By any one of the technique, you can find out the initial starting solution. Then with that starting solution, we go towards optimality. Check whether the solution is optimal, whether the distribution is optimal, whether the total transportation cost is the minimum. If it is not there, further improve it, further improve it, further improve it, until you find that no further improvement is possible. The cost cannot be further reduced, you stop there, and that is the optimal transportation cost. and that can be done by the other method where you find optimal solution. And that method is called, interestingly, this is called Modi method. The Modi method, MODI, it was named long back many years ago, before our Prime Minister. Name is also similar to that, Modi. That is called modified distribution. Modi means modified distribution, maybe a suitable or optimal to our present Prime Minister, Modi, MODI, but it is called modified distribution. So, modify the distribution what you have obtained from this any one of this technique and check whether it is optimal, otherwise further modify. So, it is redistribute them, that is all. We are going to redistribute all the items, 450 items, some may be here, some may be here, some may be here, check. If it is not optimal, again redistribute. But how to redistribute? If I ask him, you will say something, sir, I do not want some units here, go to this cell. He may say, no, I do not want, I never like him, even though I sit by the side of him, go here. Something like that. If you go like that, will never end. So, there is some technique, some principles, some rules, mathematical rules are there, some theorems are behind, and we need not to go to the theorem. We can directly take the essence of the theorem and apply and get the solution. Is it okay? Now, we will go to the northwest Now, we will go to the northwest corner rule. The northwest corner rule is something simple. In this, which is a northwest cell? You need a compass? Do you need a compass? You want? I do not have. So, how to find out northwest? Huh? Which cell? Which is the cost in the northwest cell? C11, always here, northwest. Because we always say this is north, this is west, like that. So, this is a northwest cell 10, and I have taken this cell, I have considered this cell according to the northwest, this is a northwest cell. That means, I have selected to supply items from factory 1 to warehouse 1 at the cost of unit cost of 10. What is the requirement? What is the supply of that factory? 40. It can supply 40 units. What is the demand existing? 50. So, how much you can allocate? 40. Very good. Now, the factory 1 has supplied 40 units to warehouse 1. Its supply is finished and its demand is 50. Out of 50, 40 it has received. So, the balance demand is 10. Okay, very good. Can the factory supply any items to any other warehouse? No. 40 has been gone. So, you just forget this, put line like that, so that you will not get confused. Now, the matrix has been reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 6 columns. In this, which is a northwest cell? 19. 19, how many units? It requires 10 units, it can supply 40 units. How much can give? 10 smaller. So, all its demand has been satisfied. That means, it has received the warehouse 1 needs 50 units, it has received 40 from factory 1, 10 from factory 2. Does it, will it going to receive any more items from any warehouses, sorry, any factories? No. So, you can coolly forget this. Now, the cell is like this, which is the northwest cell, this one. Once you make the allocation, you should make a change 30. Once you allocate, then immediately you should reduce it, bring to the availability level. So, 30. Now, 30 and 75, how much you can give? Only 30. So, no more items, 75, balance is 45. Here northwest cell is again 20, 160 and 45, how much you can give? 45. What will be here? 115. So, you do not receive further items, you delete it, and remaining this one northwest cell is 115, 100, how much you can give? 100. So, the balance supply is 15, no more demand. And here only 15 is the balance, 15 has been given, out of 125 balance is 110. Then here supply is 60, 110, so how much you can give? 60, no more supply, out of 110, 60 has gone, so balance demand is 50. Then only one row, 50 here, finished, 100 and 60 here, 40, 40, 40 you put. So, now we have made some allocation, we have made a distribution, yes or no? So, the total supply and total demand, whatever the factory can produce, that have been given to the warehouses, whatever the warehouse of the demand, that has been satisfied. Clear? This is a solution we got, it is a feasible solution, but we do not know whether it is optimal. Is it optimal? Why? Yeah, we did not bother about the transportation cost. We never consider the transportation. Did we speak about the transportation cost? You may think this is 10, that is why I have given, okay, but here another smaller cost is at 10, we are not allocated anything. Instead of that, we can allocate it to the highest cost 25, and here also we did not bother about the cost 11, is the smallest, we are given to other costs. So, irrespective of the cost value, we have made the allocation because the northwest cell was selected. The northwest cell may have the smallest cost or may have the biggest cost or may have the cost in between, but according to the rule this is adopted. What is the reason for this? No reason is given in any book. The only simple logic is, for this factory this warehouse is nearer. Once you remove that, for this factory this warehouse was nearer, this is close like that. But in case you have changed, instead of W 1 you have written W 6, instead of W 2 you have written W 5, like that you have interchanged the columns and the rows with the same Cij, you would have got a different distribution. So, when I was a student, I asked, sir, why you have put northwest, sometimes southeast will give a better one. So, this is a technique adopted based on simple logic, this and this are closer, that is all. And what will be the total transportation cost? Total transportation cost 10 into 40 plus 10 into 19 plus 30 into 25 plus 20 into 45 plus 15 into 100 plus 17 into 15 plus 60 into 19 plus 10 into 50 plus 21 into 60 plus 29 into 40. How much totally? Total transportation cost is 8,055, maybe rupees, dollars, something. The total transportation cost is 8,055. Please check. And we know that this is not the optimal, but it is one of the feasible one. It is a feasible solution, it satisfies the constraints. And in order to get a better solution, you can go directly to the Modi method, or we can adopt either this or this. We should know this technique as well as this technique also. And before that, let me ask, how many solutions have been made here? How many allocations have been made? 10 allocations. There are 10 allocations we have got. That means 10 non-basic variables. The remaining all basic. We have got how many variables, possible variables? 6 into 5, 30 variables. Out of 30 variables, we got 10 non-basic. Remaining 20 are basic. That becomes 0, 0. That means x 11 is 40, x 12 is x 13 x 1 4, x 1 y 0. Similarly, here x 2 1 10, x 2 2 30, 0 0 0 0 like that. So, there are 10 variables we got above 0 value. And how is it possible means how many rows are there? The number of rows, how many rows are there? 5. N number of columns, 6. So, m plus n 11, but you got only 10. So, that is called m plus n minus 1. 10 allocations you have got, where there are m number of rows and n number of columns. In LPP using this technique, the transportation problem, you get m plus n minus 1 number of solutions which are non-basic. Usually there are m plus n constraints. How many constraints are possible? 6 column wise, 5 row wise, totally 6 plus 5 11. So, there you will get 11 equations or 11 constraints. When you solve the 11 constraints with 30 variables, you are supposed to get at least 11 number of solutions, but here always you are getting one less. The simple reason is when you are making that equations, you are or this table is made, the total supply is made equal to total demand. 450 is equal to 450, the total supply is 450, the total demand is 450. So, a sort of a equality has been framed here between the 6 equations and the 5 equations. So, at that time, because of the one equality conditions, one equation become redundant. Redundant means it is extra and useless. Even without one equation we can solve the problem. So, when you want to do a sort of simultaneous equation, instead of taking 11 equations to solve, you can take any 10 and solve. That means, if you are able to make only 10 equations to solve, if you get 10 solutions, that is just sufficient instead of 11. That is why it is m plus n minus 1, that is equal to 10. You will not get more than m plus n minus 1 number of allocations in any other transportation problem. Please remember, you will not get more than m plus n minus 1 number of allocations. More than 10 allocations, or if the number of rows are 4, number of columns are 4, m plus n is 4 plus 4 8 minus 1 7, you will get only 7 allocations. You will not get more than 7 allocations like that. If you get more than 7 allocations, you have made something wrong, it will never come. You may ask, will I get number of allocation less than m plus n minus 1? Yes, that is possible. When the number of allocations become m plus n minus 1, for example, instead of 10 you got 9, instead of 10 you got 9, that means you are supposed to get 10, but you got only 9. What about the 10th allocation, the 10th value? 0, 10th variable 0, that means one of the basic variable, one of the variable becomes 0, one of the basic variable has become 0. Clear? You remember the basic solution, the column you are put, one of the basic variable becomes. So, you are getting only 10 basic solutions. If you get less than that 10 basic, they become non-basic. It means the situation is called degeneracy, we will come across later. Degeneracy, that means the problem is unable to generate the required number of solutions, degeneracy occurs. Okay, luckily we got it here, no degeneracy, we got 10 equations. Now, let me go to the next technique called least cost method. I am going to solve the same problem by least cost technique and check whether I have improved the solution, the total cost from 8055 to a lesser value or not. Okay. If that is the one, that is the best, that we can take it. And again we will check whether Vogel approximation is a better one or same by the VAM method. Lowest cost or least cost technique. In the least cost technique, pick out the smallest cost among all the 30 Cij. There are 30 cost cells. Which is the smallest? 10. The 10 exist in different places, one here, one here, one here. There are 4 places. Okay. So, you have to break the tie now. If I take the 10, how much you can allocate maximum? 40. If I take the 10, 40. If I take the 10, if I take the 10, 125. So, which one you can select? You want to transport the maximum units at the minimum cost, common sense. So, we select this one. $125 is demand is 125, supply is 150, balance is 25. So, no more demand. Now, which is again 10 is the smallest, here 60, here 40, here 40. Which one you can select? 60. So, demand is 60, supply is 60. Now, we will get a peculiar case, yes, different solution. Let me ask you to find out 60. Now, which is the smallest next? 10. Where is the 10? C 1 1 only. How much you can allocate here? 40. Balance is 10. No more supply. Okay. Among the unallocated cells, which is the smallest? 14. Are you sure? 14. 14 exists in 2 places, one here. How much you can allocate? 40. If I take this, 10. Which one you want? 40. Balance is 60. And which is smallest? 14 again. How much you can allocate? 10. Or this, since demand is satisfied, so the column is deleted, not the one. So, 15 is a still balanced supply, the demand is satisfied. Next, 15, 60, we can sub, balance is 100, no more demand. Now, 20, 90, 19 x in 2 places. If I take this, how much you can allocate? 15. If I take this, you can allocate 40, 140, so 40. No more demand. Out of 140 has gone, balance is 60. So, which is unoccupied, which are the unoccupied cells? Here. How much you can allocate? Supply is 15, demand is 75, we can allocate 15, balance is 60. So, no more. And here it is 60, 60 supply. Clear? This allocation we have made, and the total transportation cost 10 into 40 plus 14 into 40 plus 20 into 60 plus 15 into 60 plus 19 into 40 plus 10 into 60 plus 19 into 15 plus 10 into 125. That is all. There one more is there, 14 into 10. $6,000. The total transportation cost is 6,000. What is the previous cost, previous method cost? 8,000. We clearly know That was not optimal, that was not even a better feasible one, because the cost was never considered, but here the cost was considered. The cost was considered. So, we got a better solution, an improvement. 6095 correct? Is it? Okay. Any other change you have found out? You have improved the cost. Yeah, very good. There are the number of allocations are 9 allocations. The previous one, how many allocations you got? 10. Please note, because of the reduction of the number of allocations, the solution has improved. No, it can never be like that. By reducing the number of allocations, the cost can be improved. That is not always valid. It may be same or may not be same, sometimes higher. But here you got 9 allocations, you are supposed to get 10, m plus n minus 1. You are supposed to get, but you got 9, that is the one what I discussed to you. This is a case of degeneracy. That means 10th allocation has become 0. That means a basic variable become a non-basic variable. Why it has happened? A row and a column has been simultaneously deleted. A row and a column has been simultaneously deleted. If a row and column is simultaneously deleted, a number of that means a chance of second allocation after that allocation is eliminated. So, you are getting one allocation less. Please remember, if always you get the number of allocations is less than m plus n minus 1, that is the case of degeneracy. Sometimes it may be less than 1, sometimes may be less than 2, less than 1, less than 4, less than like that. Instead of m plus n minus 1, if you are getting m plus n minus 2, m plus n minus 3, m plus n minus 4, always degeneracy exists. But do not be panic about that, there is nothing wrong, nothing to worry about that. It is a case because the distribution has been made in such a way that simultaneously a row and a column has been deleted. This is a case of degeneracy. And the problem is, when you go to the final Modi method, this will give a sort of a additional task to be performed, that is all. And here m plus n minus 1 is 10, instead of you got 9, and finally you get the total supply equal to total demand. Finally, when you come here, you have allocated 20, 60 and 60 like that. All the allocations finally possible. This is possible once you ensure in the beginning whether the total supply equal to total demand. By chance, the question is given structured in such a way that the total supply is not equal to total demand, and you have proceeded without noting that, finally, you will come to know some supply item, some demand item will remain unallocated. The shortage will be unallocated, where to put, there is no cell at all. Some 25 items will be there or 30 items will be there, and no cell will be there to allocate. Oh, that is a situation. So, you should ensure whether the total supply equal to total demand, that is the condition what you have to do that. Now, we compare the two technique, this has given an improvement in the solution. Now, we go to the Vogel's approximation, check whether the solution has given the same value or will it give an improvement. Clear?
From the discussions, let me summarize that northwest cell is identified from the demand and supply to the corresponding column and row and allocate the maximum possible quantity to that cell. The process is carried out until all the supply is allocated and the demand is satisfied. In the least cost method, the cell which is having the least cost is considered and the allocation is made as it is done in northwest cell. At the end of the discussion, let me hook some questions. Question number 1, what is the significance of northwest cell? That means why should we select northwest cell? What is its importance? The second question, what is the weakness of northwest corner rule method? The third question, will the feasible solution from the least cost method be better than the solution from northwest corner rule? If so, why? Give your explanations.